my name's Julie, and in today's video I'm going to be making my June pages in my Archer and Olive journal based on some June pages I made a couple of years ago in my Happy Planner. This is a great video for those of you who are card makers, paper crafters or scrapbookers, because it's a fun way of using up your paper scraps. I'll be talking about where I get my ideas and inspiration from for my pages, and hopefully showing you how simple it is to put something as pretty as this together. So without further ado, let's get started. This is my Archer and Olive storybook journal that I absolutely love, and I've made pages like this for May. And what I've been doing each month is a title page, usually with some sort of decorative edge or Dutch door, and a page where I can put my currently prompts. There is a video on how I put this together, and I did waterfall tab pages for the whole month of May with different themes. And in case you're wondering why nothing is written in, that's because I'm setting up this journal to use in 2026. This is going to be a review page for the month, so this is where I'm going to be writing my currently prompts and making a pretty title page. I'm not sure whether I will actually do a Dutch door on this page or just a pretty edge, because I want the sun to be the main focal point. At first I was planning to do the sun on this page with the rays going up, but I often find that I change my mind about things as I go along, and now I'm wondering about putting the sun in the middle and having the rays go over both pages. Then I can write my currently prompts on this side like I did with the page I made before, and on this side I can spell out the word June. I'm not sure. I'm going to cut the strips ready for the rays and then lay them down and see how I like it. First thing to do is make a template for the rays. So I've taken this piece of card and made sure that it's going to be long enough. It doesn't have to be the full height of the page, because I'm going to have the sun either here or over both pages, so this will be plenty big enough. Then I'm going to make the template by drawing some lines. I am wondering if I am bringing about a month of rain by doing such a sunny spread for the month of June. I know in April, when I did a few rainy day spreads, we hardly had any rain at all, which is not usual here in the UK. But this year we've actually been having something of a heat wave. I've been in summer dresses for most of May, and long may it continue. I do wonder if it means that we won't have a very nice summer in July and August, but we'll have to see. In my craft room I have a drawer where, if I've used part of a scrapbook paper and have pieces left, I keep all the pieces because I don't like to waste anything, like most crafters. I went through looking for reds, oranges and yellows. As you can see, I'm very much lacking in yellows, possibly because yellow is one of my least favourite colours. Maybe I don't buy much scrapbook paper that's yellow, but I couldn't find any yellow scraps. So I have had to have a little search, and although these aren't scraps, I can use them. I have a couple of yellows here and this 12 by 12 sheet. Now you may notice that all of the pieces I've chosen have either a design or a slight texture to them. That's because I got the inspiration for this spread that I made a few years ago from a piece of scrapbook paper, and it had rays, and they weren't just plain colours, they had textures, and I think that just adds a nice look to it. Of course you can use plain paper if that's all you've got, and you'll notice that instead of going with the bright colours I used back then, I'm going to stick with reds, oranges and yellows for this page. The next thing to do is cut out a whole load of these from the coloured papers that you've chosen. Don't do it one at a time. This is something when I was teaching, I used templates with children a lot and showed them that you can save time by using more than one piece of paper at the same time. I'm not sure if 7 is enough, which is what I've got, but I can always cut some more later. I'll draw around this one and then hopefully demonstrate how I can cut all the others at the same time. So I've lined up all the papers on top of each other, and I'm going to put this one at the top as well. I'll snip it off here because I don't want those pieces, and of course they will go back in my drawer to be used maybe on another project. I simply tapped the paper down like that to make sure that they're all lined up. And now I'm going to cut following the line. I've got a big pair of scissors so it will cut through. And I'm hoping this is going to work. I've just got a tiny wobble there, so I'm just going to see if I can straighten that up. It looks a little bit strange. And now, moment of truth. Here are the rays. We are lacking a little bit in orange, so I might need some more of that colour. So let's have a little play around. If I am going to do it on 2 pages, I'm definitely going to need more colours. Or do I just want to do it on the 1 page? I think I'd really like to do it as a double page. So I'm going to pause the camera, search for some more papers, and I'll be right back. I'm back and I found a couple more, and I realised that I could use the remaining parts of these for the smaller pieces. So for example, I don't need that long piece there. I can use a shorter piece, and then I can have this over on this side. So we might swap some of these. Trying to mix up the colours a little bit. I think these need to be cut again. But we're definitely getting there. Because they were shorter pieces, I've started at the top and not got the same width at the bottom, so easily fixed. I started from this end rather than starting from this end. So we'll do that. I won't even bother drawing. I think I'll just hold it there and hope for the best. As long as you hold it tightly, it shouldn't move, or only slightly. I did contemplate, after I saw all these little pieces, having these go in the middle. It's definitely an idea. I'm not sure This is why I like playing with paper, because you get all sorts of ideas. I had to think hard when I was swapping them around, because if this side is going to be for me to actually write the currently prompts on, I need paper that I can write on. For example, I don't think I could write over this design, so I've put more of the plainer ones here. These two I won't bother using for currently prompts, so that's okay that they're quite patterned. And I've moved the more decorative ones over here. It does mean I've got this twice, but I don't think it's going to matter. Next, you want to grab a plate or a bowl and make yourself a sun or half sun for the bottom. And I'll probably do that out of just yellow or orange paper. I've made a note of the order that I'm having the pieces in, just in case, as often happens, I get them muddled up, and I am putting them away in order. Hopefully I'll get them in the right place when it comes to sticking them on. Now to make the sun, got some orange card, again a bit of a leftover from a sheet that I'd already used. I don't think I'll need as much as that, but I can always trim it off. Do you like getting crafty in your journal or planner, or do you prefer just using stickers? I like to do both. There are lots of lovely stickers out there, but I also enjoy getting creative with paper, as I'm a scrapbooker and card maker. I'm a little bit concerned about the fold in the middle, and so that the pencil mark doesn't show, I'll turn it over the other side. So I'll probably use my bone folder to really fold that in, but I need to make sure I stick the rays down first and then put this on last. I have this horrible feeling that if I start sticking them down one at a time, I'll end up with them not evenly spaced. So I'm playing it safe by laying them out first. If you're new to my channel, I have, unfortunately, the trait of being a perfectionist, which often makes me take a lot of time and be a little bit fussy. Yeah, so I definitely did need to test it out. This will probably come a lot lower as well. Something more like that. Let's take this one off. See if that is better. I think we got there in the end. Just use Prick Stick to stick them down. I've stuck them all down, and now I can decide how much of this sun I want, whether I want it all or whether I want to move it lower. I'm going to need to leave some room to write some currently comments on, but I think actually I only need to trim a little bit off. As well as from scrapbook paper, I also often get my inspiration from stickers in sticker books. So if you're not a scrapbooker, I suggest looking in your sticker collection, because often the sticker books that you really like can provide a source of inspiration. So I'm using my bone folder down the middle. Make sure it's really stuck. Now I can stick it down on this half. For example, these stickers from Caitlin Plans came out about the same time, so I saw that piece of scrapbook paper. So I think I already had the sun and the rays in my head when I saw that, and it gave me that idea to do it on my page. I'm not going to make you watch me cut off all the edges because that's just a bit boring. So give me a couple of minutes, which to you will pass in a second, and I'll be right back. I'm so glad that I went with the idea of carrying it onto both pages because I absolutely love how it looks. I'm in two minds about whether to add the stitching effect that I had on this spread, but I think I will go for it, at least on the edge of the sun, to make it stand out a little bit. I'm using a Pigma Micron 5. Of course, the other place to get inspiration is from other planners and YouTubers like myself. I started this channel to give tips and ideas and inspiration. I really love it when people comment that I've given them ideas to try. I know I've seen a few people post versions of the checkerboard spread I demonstrated, and some of you were quite excited about that. It makes me really happy to see that you're getting some tips and ideas from me. So if this is something you fancy having a go at, I think it would look really lovely, whether you went for the orange and yellow look that I've done, or you want to go for the bright colours of the original spread. Now, I think just adding this dotted border around the edge makes it pop that little bit more. It's something I do every so often in my planners, adding this dotted line to boxes to make things stand out. Again, if that's something you haven't tried ever in your planners, then why not have a go and see if you like it. That did take a little bit of time, but was totally worth the effort. However, you may spot I've made a little bit of a mistake. My eyesight is not the best, and I didn't really notice that it was going in this direction because of the white here, and it's going a little bit off kilter. But as I've got plenty of that paper, what I'm going to do is cut out another one and stick it over the top. And what that's also allowed me to do is, I wasn't too happy with this spacing here. I've made it a little bit wider. So I think that might look a little bit better. We'll see. I'm not going to be able to tuck it underneath, I don't think, so I'll just have to layer it on the top. I think that looks okay. No one else but me would be this fussy. And let's have another go at doing the dots, lines. Unfortunately, my eyesight is not the best. I have these floaters because I had a vitreous detachment in both eyes, and they seem to have got worse lately. I don't know whether it's because it's summer and, well, it's not actually summer, but it's summer weather and it's very bright. They seem to be showing up an awful lot more lately. I keep thinking a fly is in my vision, or something moving and it's not. The joys of older age. Anyway, I'm happier with that now, and all that's left I think is to add June, and this has turned out nothing like the picture I had in my mind, because I thought I was going to be doing the sun on this page and spelling out June on the actual rays, but as I've used both pages, I'm just going to spell out June across both pages. I have these large Namby sticks that I think would be a good choice. I don't want to stick them down fully. Until I'm happy with where the letters are. As I've already shown you how fussy I can be. A little bit further over. I think that will do. And those are my finished June pages, using the same idea as I used a couple of years ago, but looks completely different in a different colourway and over the 2 pages. Which leads me on to the final place you can get inspiration from, and that's from yourself. If you're stuck for ideas, why not look back at some of your older planners or spreads, find ones that you really liked. It may be an idea you tried that you were happy with, or a particular set of stickers you used and realised that you loved, and it might get your creative juices flowing again if you're in a bit of a planner rut. I hope you've enjoyed this plan with me, and if it's given you even a smidgen of inspiration, then give it a like or a comment. And for more creative tips and ideas, you can subscribe to my channel. As some people are already jumping into summer spreads, even though it's not technically the first day of summer, you might like to watch this video, where again I used a template to make a fun Polaroid spread. Hope the sun shines on you this week, wherever you are. Happy planning, take care, and see you soon.